back again. Handful of bits and pieces. Gonna get back inside. Been away on a boys' trip. Back to work. Cat prints all over my nice new paintwork. I think though, they've actually walked in the paint. One of the hardest things when you're doing measurements on a boat is finding levels and making things symmetrical. And that's because you never know what datum to take your measurements from. And nothing's ever quite straight and quite level and quite flat anyway. Things have moved around, and I'm fairly sure when things are built, they're not built to very high tolerances. So you're constantly looking for ways of comparing measurements to try and make sure things are symmetrical and as close to each other as they can be. I'm having a look at the moment at these longitudinal pieces of steel that we've put in here. This reminds me of what Simon on Ship Happens called his engine bearers. He's got a similar kind of thing running through his boat if you watch Ship Happens. If you don't watch Ship Happens, go and have a look. That's Wooden Boat Restoration. Fantastic channel. Have a look up there. But anyway, Simon's done a similar thing with what he calls his engine bearers that run to the stern of his boat, trying to figure out what's level. And I'm at the same stage. So I'm just going to have a look and look at what level we have by taking a level between my engine bearers. That's not what they are. So here you can see I'm going from here to the same thing at the other side. We'll put this on here and just make sure it's magnetic. It tends to pick up a little bit of the filings. Turn that on and then we'll zero that. So I'm calling that 0. Now I want to compare that to here at the back. It's a bit cluttered here. I've got my clamps up here, but this is the edge of the bathing platform. So this is cut pretty neat, and I want to compare that to here. And that's what's interesting, is about 1.9. These don't match. That, the hull of the boat, and this part of the boat, they don't match. That's part of the problem. And it's a bit of a challenge to try and figure out exactly what level is. What I'll do then is I'll try here. So those kind of match, which you'd expect them to. So I've measured the height from the deck. It's about 142 centimetres. And I've made a mark. And I've measured from the deck on that side 142 centimetres and made a mark. The idea being that the deck is going to be my datum for this. Then I've set the laser so it runs from that mark through the other mark, which is over there. Today is a day of head scratching. It's now 1:30. I've been here most of the day and I've cut one thing. I've spent the whole day measuring and scratching my head. You can't find two parts on the boat that are completely symmetrical and the same measurement. If you look here, I'm kind of settling on this a little bit. This angle iron here that I've put in is level with the floor in the back of the boat, and that means it's level with these two stringers that we spoke about earlier. It's not quite level with the deck, but I don't think it's far out. It's not level with this, but I guess we're going to have to make everything down here level, everything on the top level, and somehow make it meet in the middle. The issue I've got though is now I've got this level. If you look, I haven't got a straight edge long enough, but with this level, let's just continue that edge. And we kind of hit that stringer. And you can see even if that stringer wasn't there, we'd be hitting the deck plate fairly soon. On this side, we go straight over that stringer by several centimetres. So to get this symmetrical, this back's got to come up. I've just cut a little bit out along that edge to allow the plate to come up, but I might have to cut a little bit more. But I'm just going to get my support and press this and see how far it'll come up without having to put too much strain on it. I think slowly I'm starting to win. What I'm doing is I'm just pressing down on that side just to push the hole down a little bit on that side. And on this side, I'm pressing upwards to lift it this side. And it's almost equal. But I'm not going to push it any further. I think I've got about as far as I really need to. There's a little bit in it, but I don't think that's going to make any difference. I think I'm overthinking that. So now I've kind of got it into a good place. Now I can put in some more of this T-section and this big stringer thing. And that's what I'm going to try and get on with next. Slight delay because there's no more T-section. So I can't put that last little Peter's T-section in, which is about this long. I keep my eyes open. I might have dumped a piece somewhere and can't find it. So I'm just going to have to skip over that. And we're just going to move forwards a little bit to do those holes. Got a die grinder, got some tungsten carbide bits, and I've got an air fitting that leaks air. So we'll just fasten this into here. This is designed for water, not for air, but I don't have any thread seal. That should do it.
Say you love me, say you don't. Just give me something so I can move on. Pull me closer or push me away. Let me know if we'll be okay. 'Cause I can't stand another moment of you playing with my mind. I'm so tired of never knowing, so spell it out. 'Cause I won't stay awake till morning, I won't stay another night. If you're feeling something for me, say it now. 'Cause I can't wait for you forever. 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 I've been patient with your love. Sometimes you don't show it enough. And I wish you could open up and take my worry in and make it stop. 'Cause I can't stand another moment of you playing with my mind. I'm so tired of never knowing, so spell
So I've been using the fibre discs on the bottom of this rudder stock, which are pretty nifty. I like these. They're very, very quick. They rafe off all the paint. Rachel's been doing the same on the top. She's been rafing off some of the flash rust from last time we cleaned it up and the rest of the paint. The issue with the fibre discs, though, because they're round, they don't get into the edges and the corners very well. So I'm just going to swap to the laser. I think the laser is absolutely fantastic for this, for all the bits in between the welds, all the rough knobbly bits and everything else. And I enjoy using the laser, so why not? Okay, just to answer a few comments. A common theme in last week's video, people kept asking when I was going to do the seam welding. As you know, we've got 2 pieces of steel in here now, tack welded in, not seam welded in. And a few of you are wondering why I'm not doing it. I even had one person suggest it's because I've been avoiding it. It's not true. The reason we're not seam welding it is I don't intend to seam weld it until all the steel is tack welded here at the back. See it as a dry fit, if you like. I want to make sure everything is in the right position and fitted properly before we start putting permanent welds in. And we've already had a little bit of that. If you remember, I had to undo a couple of the tack welds just to try and shift some distortion. So we shall be getting lots of steel in first, including this whole stern section, the bathing platform, and some of the chine as well, which is a job we'll be moving on to soon. We'll tack weld that in, and then when it's all in and we're happy, then it'll be a big blast through, get all the welding done and get it fitted in permanently. Next job then, let's get some degreaser on this, clean it up, and let's get some more paint on it. Thanks Heath Pilkington for the squirty on the Amazon wish list. Thank you, mate. I needed a new one of these. The old degreaser is done for. Yep. Right, I need to mix up the paint. What time is it, Rach?
I'm not saying it, that's Gemma's saying.
Oops. Plenty of hardener in there. There he is. From the Pilkies again. Thank you, the Pilkies. He said he felt bad for me stirring paint with an old lump of wood. So he got me some proper paint stirrers. Alright, there's yours. You only need to do the top of this.
Pardon?
You only need to do the top of this, don't. Yeah. The instructions to the lady were, don't paint the leg.
In my defence, I thought you meant only paint up to the top bit, and I thought the top bit, I thought, oh, I told not to paint that bit.
Followed a muck cart, thought it was a wedding. Okay, great. So that's the underside of the rudder stop painted. We haven't painted the top yet, but I wanted to make sure I got a good coverage on the bottom, because sometimes when you paint it, when it's in situ, you miss bits, you can't see it properly. So the underside is painted. We'll let that dry, and then we can get the rudder stop in and maybe tack weld it in, and then we can put the second and the third coat on at a later date, make it look clean. That'll probably end up dirty, like the rest of the boat now, but for now, doesn't that look pretty? Okay, the paint should be dry. Dry to the touch. Doesn't that look sweet? Right, we're all dry. So the next thing then is, let's give it a pick up and see if we can get it into place. I might need to get rid of some of this paint first. Thanks, Rach. Right, 2 quick thank yous. Alan Myhill and Ian Hobbs, both who were very kind enough to get us some of these fibre discs off our Amazon wish list. I did want to thank Ian Hobbs' wife a little bit more, though, because Ian, unfortunately, ordered these on our Amazon wish list, but selected the wrong address and had them delivered to his own house. So his wife very kindly took them to the post office and posted them to me. So just a reminder, if you do use our Amazon wish list, thank you very much. Make sure you tick the address for blue steel, and also put in that little gift card section, the notes, and then I know who it comes from. Right, thank you to the pair of you and your wife, Alan. So there's a lot going on at the moment that I've not been including you in. So I thought I'd give you a quick catch up. What I'm trying to do is get this rudder stock in, but the rudder stock needs to be straight and level. It needs to be straight and level sort of in the roll plane, if you like, but it also needs to be straight and level in pitch. That's proving a little bit challenging, but not too bad. So what I'm actually doing at the moment is I found that the rudder tubes, they're just splayed very, very slightly, both sides, outwards. And I think that's because the hole, which is very tight at the moment, is a little bit too lateral. Oh. Zombie Holocaust. Those are the sirens. So it's a little bit splay-legged, only by a tiny amount. And as I said, that's because the holes are probably a little bit too lateral by probably about 1 millimeter. So what I'm doing is I'm just gradually opening up the hole. So I'm just slightly opening it out on both sides, just so that those legs come in and it's not so splay-legged. And it's taken a long time. It's up and down a little bit at a time because I'm just taking small amounts off. I don't want to overdo it. The problem is you can take material out. You can't put it back in very easily. Right, I'll be back when we've got it sorted. Right, I've measured about 50,000 times. And I've told you 1,000,000 times not to exaggerate. And I think we're in. So I'm not going to mess around now. I'm going to get some tack welds in. Make sure that we stay in position. Right, here we go. Well, that's the rudder stock in. Well, half in. We've got some steel reinforcements put in here to strengthen it all up. It's got a little bit of flex in it at the moment, and we'll be tying it into the rest of the boat. A few of you have probably picked up from the socials that Simon and I, Simon from Ship Happens, have been up to a few dodgy shenanigans abroad. I'll probably show you a little bit of what we've been up to in a midweek special. In the meanwhile, here's a few tasters.
Right, so we're going to do some exploring and I'm navigating, but all the roads look perfectly fine on there. But now we've gone up some proper dirt track and we're a bit lost, a bit committed, but it's okay, we're in a hire car.
That we're not allowed to go off-road on. I don't think we are. And if you think the potholes are bad in the UK, stop moaning.
The little Astra's doing well. Trying to get, yeah, that's it. Go on, go on. Keep it behind me. Right.
Look at it, it's just wagging its tail.
Right, so I'll go and clear the dogs. Oh, go on.
This is the best holiday ever. See you later, dude.
See you later, loser.
Hey. See you later.
Wait for me. He's driving off.
Run, fat boy.
Why have we got a spanner light on? We've got a spanner light on.
That's it. That's €900.
Alright, what side of the road are you going on?
Let's do. Oh.
If we survive this trip, it would be a miracle.
Okay, now. Then we went into the ditch.
Oh, you did that fucking about 20 times yesterday.
Well, Jesus Christ, I don't think I ever touched the ditch.
Yeah, sure.
So when you're driving with Simon on the wrong side of the road, it's more comfortable to have your eyes shut.
Yeah.
Right then, so rudder stock assembly's in. It's looking good. Little bit more welding to do to secure it, a few more supports, tie it into the rest of the boat. Anyway, thanks for all the support. Don't forget, please to hit the subscribe button, thumbs up, hype button, leave us a comment, and I'll see you in the next video, which might be sooner than you think. Bye for now. Oh no, I left the welder and the laser and the gas on. Got to get in there now. Past here.